Greetings everyone, my name is Cedric Chuma for Financial Insight Zambia here at the FIZ Show Season 3. Joining me today is an exciting guest, Leon de Wit, who serves as Managing Director for Kazang Zambia. Leon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to have you here, by the way.
Thank you very much.
So Kazang has an interesting story in the Zambian market. Are you able to tell us briefly about the Zambian experience of Kazang?
Yeah, sure. So around about 10 or 12 years ago, I started Kazang. It was basically an opportunity that was presented to me by a company called Cytec, who have since been acquired numerous times. And we kicked it off. The first version was not a success. We had a few technical failures. But I think then, we started getting some traction in the market, and I think one of the big game changers that we did was to get PEP on as a client, and I think that proved the technology to people out there in the market. They would go into PEP, they would see a Kazang machine, and they would kind of start having some trust in the solution. And then after that, the rollout started growing, and we started getting selling more and more talk time and DSTV, and then the next kind of big milestone for us was when we won the ZESCO tender. We were one of 3 companies that won the tender. I think that changed consumers' life in Zambia, because you didn't have to go and queue at the ZESCO outlets anymore. You could buy your electricity at a Kazang machine, and that also proved how our technology and how astute we were in terms of reporting and reconciliation and stuff for our agents. And from there it just grew and grew and grew. Now I think the next kind of pivot is into mobile money, and you're going to have more and more people are buying electricity and talk time from their mobile wallets, and less from agents like Kazang and 543 and the rest of us in the sector. And therefore, I think that's the market that we're all chasing now, is the mobile money transaction space.
And also the rise of mobile money, as well as other fintech innovations in Zambia, has seen great growth for the digital financial services space. So I want to know, how exactly is Kazang finding its position in this increasingly dynamic sector?
Okay, so you need to see Kazang as like the ShopRite of DFS. So we support everyone. We're very inclusive of the banks, the other mobile wallets, the other competitors in our industry. We want to be able to offer our vendors a complete service. So we don't just kind of select a particular kind of sector of the market or players. We have contracts with Airtel, with MTN, with Zamtel, with Spen. We're dealing with all the banks. We were the first non-bank financial institution to finish the national financial switch integration, which we were very proud of. So that's kind of where we play in the space. So we're not our kind of strategy is to keep on doing that, keep on expanding the offering to our vendors, and offering our vendors a system that really reports well and reconciles well. So that's important for your vendors to be making money on the DFS services that they offer. And if they don't, they'll just lose interest and go somewhere else. So that's kind of where we see ourselves playing.
So Kazang actually plays an important role in offering integrated financial services. I want to know, what key trends have you identified, as well as what does the landscape look like going forward?
Okay, so I think the main trend is, for the last probably 2 or 3 years, I think people have underestimated the use and functionality of mobile money. And also I think that to a certain extent, mobile wallets were not up to speed. I mean, they're getting better and better. I mean, the tech is relatively old. I know that both the big players are looking at upgrading systems at the moment. But it's a technology that's 10 years old, and if you think about how long 10 years is in the DFS space, those upgrades will start happening, and we'll see like another trend of more functionality, more usage of QR codes, more a speedier transaction, so that your micro transactions, which are normally very quick, those will come into mobile money, where at the moment, it's like, why can't I pay in a minibus with mobile money? I mean, but for that to happen, you need a very quick transaction time. You want to call boys there, fiddling with the machine. So those kind of things need to start happening. And I think as the tech improves, that it'll allow that market to grow. I mean, like probably maybe a year or two ago, I used to go and speak to like the big guys, and like the CEO of Zambia, the CEO of other non-DFS companies, agricultural companies and stuff, and none of them had mobile money wallets. I mean, I'd walk in, I'd start talking about mobile money, and they'd be like, "Look, I don't even have a wallet." And then I'd *115# get them a wallet, and now those guys are doing thousands of kwacha through their mobile wallets. So the adoption is now both from your high income earners, right to your farm workers are becoming, are coming on board, and it really allows transactions to speed up significantly, and that's that's a very good trend, because then the government can earn more money, because people are making more profit, taxes can be paid. We're seeing the government adopting more and more mobile money to be able to pay taxes, etc., etc. And I think that adoption will continue, because it's harder to misappropriate digital money. Once it's been captured into one of the systems, and it's very auditable, so it's very easy to see where the money came and went. And I think those trends will continue. If you look at Kenya, it's Kenya is like the shining light in mobile money. You've had mobile money for 20 years, whatever, and we're heading there very, very quickly. And I think the reason for that is that, my experience, I've been in Zambia for 22 years now. My experience in Zambia is that Zambians are very slow to trust, but once they do, then it really starts pushing. And I think it's been quite nice that we can look to the east and see, okay, there's Kenya, mobile money is working well, and that's why I think the adoption of mobile money in Zambia will be quicker than it was in Kenya. And then also, when you've got someone, the Bank of Zambia have been very supportive of companies like ourselves. There's like Miriam and her team that's the director of mobile money services in BOS, have really assisted us, also assisting the kind of the level 2 players like ComGrow. There's a various bunch of them that are coming on board, and they're using our systems, and they're building like systems on top of ourselves, and giving them direction and things like that. So I think, when we started 12 years ago, Bank of Zambia, it took a lot of time for them to understand what exactly we did. And then we've seen a significant improvement over the last 10 years, and that continues as more service providers come on board. So I think the trends are very positive.
Yeah, and as recently as 2021, we saw Spend Technologies invest for a stake in Kazang Zambia. It was a multi-million-dollar investment, and we see this going with even other players in the market as well. So what do you say is the future for players in the market? Do you see more mergers and acquisitions, as well as investments into firms that are coming up and growing the space?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely going to continue. I think that Zambia is in a very positive place in terms of exchange control and things like that. So for people to invest money in Zambia and be able to exit with that money, although the currency has taken a severe hit over the last couple of months, I think that's going to stabilize as the speculators come leave the market, and I think that then you're going to start seeing you're already seeing investment, and you'll see it'll continue. Also, I think that I was reading somewhere that Zambia's population is very, very young, and so we're getting more and more smarter Zambians coming up into the workspace. Guys that are very digitally they have a very good understanding of how the digital financial services work. They they're very well educated, and so you're getting more and more programmers coming out in the space. So as Kazang, what we've done is that we've got you can call it as like a little incubator. So we've got 2 companies that have are sitting in our offices, and they are basically working on, the one company does like a point of sale system that runs on Kazang, and the other one is a ticketing system that also runs on top of Kazang. And now we can give them access to the financial services space, so they can do move cash to bank, they can do mobile money transactions and things like that, but it all runs through Kazang's. And so we allow them to it's a big step forward for them in a very small with a very small amount of effort, because we've done all the heavy lifting already in the background. And so we want to continue that. We want to reach out. So if there's anyone out there who's got a good idea, then we can put them on top. We've got about 15,000 terminals now in the market, and we can put them on our terminal. So it's a kind of third-party application, but it runs through Kazang. And we've seen a good traction. The ticketing system is running well, and the point of sale system is now becoming compliant with the smart invoicing system from ZRA. So you'll be able to have the Kazang machine and be able to have a complete system for a small to medium sized enterprise, like boutiques, 7-Elevens, places like that are selling goods and services. So they'll be able to run a proper system and then also be tax compliant. I think we all need to be tax compliant so that we can see the income into the ZRA increasing. And I think that most small scale entrepreneurs that I speak to, I ask them, are you tax compliant? And the biggest issue is that, well, we don't know how to do it. We don't know how do we pay? It seems to be a bit of a schlep to do it. They're not quite sure. So what we're trying to do is make it as easy as possible for them. If we record all your transactions, then we pay over the TOT for you, the turnover tax. So that's where we want to be sitting.
Okay, and what contribution do digital financial innovations such as Kazang play in what is financial inclusion as well as national development?
So I think, over the last couple of years, we've seen a significant amount of farm workers being paid by Kazang. So we've got a bulk payment system that works, and we've got farmers that pay their workers through DFS. And it's a basically click of a button. It costs the farmer basically nothing, and all his workers get paid. And so now you've got someone who's got a wallet. They don't. One day I spoke to a peanut farmer and I asked him about what are your biggest problems when it comes to financials. And one of his biggest problems was the rats were eating his money that was kept underneath the bed. So with DFS you don't have those issues. So it's been really nice to kind of see where you go to a farmer and then all the farm workers are there, and then he presses a button and they all look at their phones and they've been paid. So from there, what we call kind of transactional acceleration is that if I've got 200 kwacha and then I want to buy something from you, I can just send you mobile money. Now I've got the commodity, I can sell it to someone else, and I give my money. So the transactions are accelerating all the time, where before I'd have to give you 100 kwacha or somehow get it to you, and then you would then send me the commodity. Now those things are instant, and therefore you're going to see, I think the GDP of the country will start going up because of the fact that we've got so many transactions going around. And it also eliminates the kind of briefcase salesman who was taking advantage of the farmer who doesn't really know the market price for his commodity in the market. So now that farmer can say, okay, look, I'm sending you these things. to the marketeer and get a better rate for their commodities. Like you see every day coming into Lusaka vegetables and things like that. I think that those are the areas that you're going to see more and more growth. And then in terms of financial inclusion, like we've seen now with Comgrow, is one of the companies that we're working with, is that they're digitizing like village banking and things like this, and that is now allowing farmers who before who would never be able to get any kind of credit line or anything like that, now being able to do that, because we're collecting that information. And there's huge amounts of data that us as Kazang are collecting all the time, and we can now we know, okay, you spend so much money at these outlets on mobile money, because we can track you on your mobile money account. And therefore, we can then start saying to you, would you like a loan? We can see that what your spending patterns are and things like that. And it's very difficult for companies that are giving loans to identify credit-worthy individuals. But I think that now with mobile money, you'll be able to start doing that, because it's capturing the informal part of the market, which is the majority of the market in Zambia. I mean, the informal trading that happens in Soweto market is millions of kwacha every day, and if we can get some kind of idea of who's spending what money and who needs, like, I mean, just for an example, if you have a 7-Eleven and you want to buy some more fridges, but you don't have a bank account, so it's difficult to go and get a loan from the bank, which is a reasonable rate. Your only other option is to get like at a 40% rate per month or whatever, which is loan sharks or whatever. But I mean, I think now when you can prove that you have been doing transactions and you have a steady income, then the banks are more likely to lend to you, and so you can grow your business.
Okay, and what's the current strategic focus of Kazang, and how are you creating value for your clients?
Okay, so basically, as I said, the selling of talk time and DFS from our kind of agents, that's in the decline, and this is something we expected like 5 years ago. We kind of realized that trend would eventually kick in. More people have got mobile money. You can top up your account. You can cash in 100 kwacha. You can buy airtime. You can buy electricity and things like that. From the ease of your own home. So definitely that's where it's going. And then the ability to pay for goods and services. So like if you go to Avida, if you go to Panarottis, you go to Nando's, you can pay with your mobile money via Kazang for your food or your coffee or whatever. And that's basically where we see the market moving completely. So cash in, cash out, and then the ability to pay for goods and services with your mobile money wallets. And then, as I said, like your micro transactions are going to start coming into it. Like jump into a minibus, either tap or scan or whatever, however we manage to implement that technology, and that'll continue. And then for us, I mean, so those agents that have got our Kazang machines, like Avida or all the smaller agents, we're settling them immediately. So basically, we collect the cash, we settle into your Kazang account immediately, and then we give you an option like, when do you want us to settle in your bank account? So we'll settle into your bank account every day, and it'll be, if your shop closes at 7, we settle at 8. So so our vendors can choose when exactly they want settlement. Now you can imagine if you're running an overdraft and you're paying interest every day, then we settle, and we push that overdraft, very close to 0, then you're paying less and less interest. So again, it's this transactional acceleration that we want to keep on going with. Our reporting and our reconciliations are kind of top notch. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves on. So the ability, we send reports every day to our agents in various formats, and everything's very reconcilable. And we have a full call center and stuff. So our kind of customer service and customer happiness is very important to us, because most of our business that we get is like from a referral basis. I have a Kazang machine, it's doing well. My friend walks in and sees, okay, well, there's a Kazang machine. But what happens? I can receive money for goods and services here. I get settled, and there's nothing like an unhappy client who hasn't received his money. But most of it, we've got very very happy clients who get settled all the time. We settle 7 days a week, so we're not going to be sitting on your money, during the weekend and things like that. So those are, to us, is what we think are important parts of a good DFS provider.
All right, Leon, it's been very enlightening having you. Thank you so much.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for coming.
This has been Cedric Chuma for Financial Insight Zambia. Get to know.